Well, the weekend has come to an end, but we do not end things here. So for today, I decided to make this episode into a one review episode only. Now, for those who are probably wondering why, well, I decided to focus because, as you know, we have TNA Bound for Glory. So I decided just to focus on this one. As you know, we will review from everything from the pre-show through all the matches, from title matches and special matches, and this is going to be a lot of fun. And then, as always, we'll cap up our episode as usual with some news updates. They give you guys updates on what's been happening in the world of wrestling, such as what events the promotions are throwing out, who's booked, what matches are set, including developments that are happening in the world of wrestling as we speak. So, let's get ready for another episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Hey everyone, welcome to Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J-Rod here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is a channel we do a lot of pro wrestling reviews from various promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK. Anywhere in the world, wrestling is not as big, but it continues to grow. We also, of course, do discussion videos, talk about various topics such as the wrestlers themselves, the promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to talk about. We also, of course, do more news updates. If certain information was unable to be on this episode, we can either put it on the next one or on a separate video by itself. We also, of course, do real-time news updates to keep you guys on alert if something has happened in the world of wrestling that needs to be addressed ASAP. We also, of course, got the Unagi Sayaka Watch and various other cool wrestling content as well. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us or click on that subscribe button. You'll be getting a lot of daily reviews and other cool wrestling content as well. But if you like this episode, please give us a like on the like button or a nice comment in the description down below. Now, the time has come. Let it begin. So let's start with our only review, and that is TNA Bound for Glory. Okay, TNA Bound for Glory. Now, this is one of their big shows that happens every year. Now, normally people don't give a damn about the pre-show, but however, in this one, is important. For every time before the Bound for Glory has been close to the due date, they make an announcement for the annual TNA Hall of Fame. And this year, they inducted 3 amazing women who took part of TNA for years. The first one, of course, was the person who made the introductions and inducted them into the TNA Hall of Fame was Tommy Dreamer. And of course, he inducted none other than one of TNA's most famous tag team faction, however you want to see it, the Beautiful People, Angelina Love and Velvet Sky. And as you all know, they have played a pivotal role in TNA for a long time. I mean, they brought in a different type of element, and of course, many people love them. I mean, I was a big fan of them, how they were doing things. And then, of course, when they added more people, it kind of died out, but I would have preferred these two. And of course, Angela Love and Sky Blue said what they said about the accomplishments, how much they love their fans, and all this and that. And of course, they're very happy to be there. But of course, it wasn't over yet until Victoria, or as people know her as Tara, they actually she inducted, of course, someone who many of you know for a long time, Hardcore Country. Yep, she took in the stage and got, of course, thanked the TNA fan base and everyone in the world, especially her family and all that. So you probably know how that works out. So that's pretty much it for the Hall of Fame. But however, they did had a one match in the pre-show, which is for the TNA Knockouts World Tag Team belts. As you probably know, the Elegance brand decided to have a rematch, the challenge against the Inspiration. Now, of course, you probably would think that Chihuahua will once again try to interfere. Well, things did not go according to plan because, oops, Heather accidentally hit M, and that allowed, of course, for the Inspiration to apply the Idolizer, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, done. Now, let's jump into the first match of the evening in the main card. We have the TNA International Championship. Steve Macklin makes his reclaim back of the TNA International title from Frankie Kazarian. Now remember, Frankie Kazarian decided to find ways to cheat himself away back into to get this belt. But however, of course, Steve Macklin, well, he wasn't gonna wait for nothing. So of course he was gonna make a beeline towards him, and that was pretty much of the match. You would have seen Steve Macklin would have been beaten up, but nope, he tried to dismantle Frankie. But Frankie tried to play the smart game, but it didn't do any good for him because apparently he ended up being KIA by Steve Macklin, and just like that, Macklin reclaimed the TNA International Championship. Now, our next match, we have Tessa Blanchard versus Gia Miller. Now, many of you know this. This was the match that was built up. Months ago, Tessa Blanchard viciously attacked Gia Miller for doing her job. She was just doing her job as an interviewer, you know. But of course, Tessa had a huge chip on her shoulder, or should I say, a very tempered tantrum in order to do so. But however, when Gia Miller was the one who suggested, of course, to uplift the suspension, so Gia Miller can get her hands on her. And I have to say, she did pretty good in the match itself. But of course, the X Factor, don't forget, wherever Tessa goes, Victoria Crawford is there. Many of you may know her as Alicia Fox. Well, she was by her side until, of course, she got caught, and then Jody Threat took care of her. And then, of course, bye, Victoria. But things would have gone, of course, in favor of Gia Miller. But, of course, once again, Tessa found a way to cheat by using a roll of quarters and whacked her in the head. And they were all scattered. And I'm like thinking, ref, you didn't see that? There's quarters everywhere. You would have gone, what the hell was that? But nope, things ended up that way. Now, our next match, this one is called the Call Your Shot Gauntlet match. Now, for those who are new, you probably ask yourself, what the hell is a Call Your Shot Gauntlet match? It's almost similar like the Royal Rumble, in case anybody, but the only difference is, in this match, you win a trophy. Basically, you get to call your shot. You can choose whatever championship you want at any time, anywhere, at any given place. So that plays out. Now we have many talents. So let me pull up, of course, who participated. Let's see. I hate this. All right, here we go. Okay, so we had many people. So this is how it goes down. AJ Francis was able to eliminate 3 people within a span of less than a minute or something. He eliminated Mara Sade, Li Yingli, and of course, the one person we thought they were going to be boys, Rich Swann. And then he got eliminated by 4 people, all members of the Rascals and BDE. Many of you may not know him. He's an independent wrestler who showed up at Revolver Wrestling. But yes, so it took 4 people. But however, Eric Young showed up and he eliminated 4 people: Travis Williams, BDE, Trey Miguel, and Cedric Alexander. And then Hometown Man eliminates Jake Something. And then Danny Luna eliminates Rosemary. But the Hometown Man eliminates Danny Luna. Then Nick Bennett eliminates Santino Morella. Then Matt Cardona eliminates Zach Clayton. I think that's the guy from who's married to JWoww, I think. Then Eric Young eliminates Trey Miguel and Zach, and then he eliminates the hometown man. Then Matt Cardona eliminates both Eric Young and Mance Warner. Then Minnick eliminates his own brother. Yeah, he is Nick Mannick's brother. The end. And then all of a sudden, Steph and Mance eliminate Matt Warner, but later there was a double pin between both Nick and Frankie Kazarian. So basically, they both won the gauntlet. So it's kind of bizarre. But of course, there's something you guys need to know. If in a situation like this, they can actually call your shot to win the challenge for the big title. That's always been well documented in the past. We saw that with Moose when he did that to Josh Alexander. Now, our next match is for the TNA Knockouts World Title. Indy Hartwell, who is now a full-blown member of the TNA roster, faces against NXT's Kalani Jordan, who is the current TNA Knockouts World Champion. Now, of course, you can tell that TNA talent, especially the Knockouts division, are not fans of her. And of course, she has to defend the belt. Not to say it was a pretty good matchup. I mean, I think many of us would have presumed that Indy Hartwell would have been the logical choice to bring that title to TNA back, but Kalani Jordan was able to overcome that by applying the one of a kind, which is the leg split moonsault. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Now our next match is the Hardcore War. Now this is a match that has not been around for almost 2 years. This is a battle between two different factions. We have the Order of 4, led by Mustafa Ali. As you know, Mustafa Ali are trying to show their dominance in TNA against the system, who in a span of year or two, they have proven their dominance as well. But now they feel that the system outlived their usefulness, and they've been going after them since then. And of course, it went all hell. I mean, it started out with both what's his name, Eddie Edwards and Jason Hotch, and then of course later we did see John Skyler show up, then JDC, then the women showed up, Tasha Steelz, and then Alicia Edwards. But what's fun about this is later we saw a staple gun being used. At some point of the match, we did see John Skyler bleed it out, and then of course we did see a staple gun being used. Eddie Edwards used it on the head of John Skyler, and then of course JDC tried to use it on him on his head, but he covered himself, leaving his gonads open and stapled. And then of course Alicia stapled Tasha Steel's ass with it, and all of a sudden all hell changed with the arrival of course that big dumb monster, of course Agent Zero, with his little mean streak and all of that. But luckily, of course, Brian Myers tried to even the odds as much as possible. And then, of course, Mustafa Ali showed up. And then, of course, Moose. So basically, all hell was breaking loose. But the one thing that was intense is that, of course, when everything was going out of their minds, Mustafa Ali was attempting to destroy Alicia. It shows how cold he is. But the one thing that was crazy is when he poured her a lot of thumbtacks on her, in hopes, because she already was suffering that when Agent Zero put her on top of those. But, however, Mustafa Ali was about to use a 450. Somehow Alicia was able to roll out, and Mustafa Ali landed stomach first, and just like that, while he was in pain, Eddie Edwards, you know how he is, no one tried to do something to his wife. Well, he put a barbed wire on his knee and then applied the barbed wire Boston knee the Boston knee party, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, the system wins. Now, I asked myself this question after this: does this mean this is over between the Order of 4? I don't know, because the thing is, Mustafa Ali hates to lose. So we'll see what happens. Now, our next match is the TNA X Division Championship. This is one of my favorite belts when I first started out watching TNA back in the day in the 2000s. And I always been a big fan of this belt. I'm sure many of you are too. And it was amazing because you have wrestlers who are very young. And of course, Leon Slater being the youngest wrestler to become TNA X Division champion is a big deal. And I thought they brought it out pretty well. But however, things didn't go well because there was a time limit draw. And of course, this could not let this happen. Even Santino himself came out to try to say he cannot let this slide. And I have to say he played the smart game. So they gave them 5 more minutes and the pace was going great until all of a sudden the lights turned off and Dark Stage showed up out of nowhere and just cost them the match. And of course, the fan base were saying, F you guys, F you guys. So yeah, basically they don't care. They think they are happy about it. But I wouldn't be surprised if Javon Evans and Leon Slater decided, let's deal with these grease monkeys. That something would have been a thing that we'd expect. Now, we had a surprise visit from someone who we haven't seen for months. We've been praying for him. We've been thinking how is he doing since he was injured. We have, of course, the Art of Finesse, Chris Bay. So he was there because, of course, he had some great news. And they announced that the attendance of Bound for Glory is up to 7,794. Now, of course, people can say it's a lie. There's no way. I mean, I don't know. We can't say that because we had seen people talk about this over time. But I say I would believe that if that's the case. We know that TNA has been picking up the pace for a while now, but we'll see where that goes. Now, our next match is a tables match for both the TNA and the NXT tag team belts. Two tag teams who fought many times in various matches, and that is, of course, Team 3D, who many of you know them in WWE and ECW as the Dudley Boys. They face against the Hardys. Now, it's no secret that these guys have been at war with each other. But this match was more of their last match to get as their final confrontation between them. And of course, the match turned into a tables match because apparently this is something that Bully Ray said, that this one match that stung them was a tables match in their hometown. And that's something that, of course, they cannot let slide. And that's something that happened. I mean, this match was crazy. But it ended. There was sort of like an elimination type. Let me pull it up on my phone. I know I saw it here. Yes. First elimination goes to Team 3D when they eliminated Jeff Hardy. And then Jeff Hardy eliminated Devon. And then after that, the Hardys eliminated Bully Ray. And just like that, they retained the belts. But however, we did see, of course, the Hardys kind of pick them up and get them on their feet. And then, of course, both Devon and Dudley removed their boots as a sign that they're done. And, of course, the sign of respect, because, of course, they will always be one of the greatest tag teams of all time, along with many others throughout history, you know. So it was a pretty good match, I'm not going to lie. Now, our main event is the TNA World Title. Mike Santana versus Trick Williams. Now, Mike Santana, since he was coming around to TNA, returned not as a member of LAX or any tag team. He made it his goal to achieve his own success, and that's exactly what he's been doing. He's been aiming for the TNA World Title since return. He's been delayed by many people who tried to stop him, try to say, you don't deserve it, Mike. You know, first it was Moose, then Nick Bennett, then, of course, Mustafa Ali, and then when the title was exchanged to Trick Williams, that kind of stung a little. But Mike Santana is determined to bring this belt back no matter what. And of course, in the stands, we did see, of course, Mike Santana's daughter watching this. Of course, he made it a promise that he would bring this title and also present it to her. And that's exactly what he did. But of course, Trick Williams will probably use ways to ensure he does not want to lose it. There were moments he was afraid of losing it. And not to mention his dumb attorney got involved, but he got spin the block. And then, of course, we did see, of course, a bitch slap by Santana's daughter. And just like that, it was done. But it took only one spin the block by Mike Santana. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. However, history has always showed us when something like this happens, that means someone has a bigger agenda. And then Nick Bennett showed up. He attempted, of course, to cash in the Call Your Shot gauntlet until the lights turned off. And then all of a sudden, Elijah showed up and just whacked him with the guitar. And of course, Mike Santana is like, wondering what the hell. And of course, this is what he does. Like, you're welcome. So he just walked off the sunset or something. And then of course, Frank Kazarian cannot believe that this happened. Like, he doesn't know what to do. Like, he saw that Nick Bennett was gone, and he was out of his element until Santana, of course, gave him the spin the block. And then, of course, during the post match, Carlos Silva, the president of TNA, showed up and presented the belt and put it on Santana's shoulder, which, of course, he felt like this was the proper way, because he knows that he was not satisfied with the fact that Trick Williams had this belt. But now it's back where it truly belongs. And then, of course, Mike Santana presented this belt to his daughter, of course, who was in the ring. And, of course, it was a special moment. I'm sure many people cried seeing this moment. I mean, personally, me, it was. I mean, I don't have any kids of my own, but I understand the feeling, because a man like him worked real hard where he was going to. So that is a thing to remember. So I have to say, awesome show. So I have to say, some of the best matches. I have to say the world title, the tag team tables match, the X Division, the Hardcore War. That pretty much it. But as of right now, we are officially done. Let's move on with our last and final thing, news updates. Okay, so welcome to our news update. So let's begin with some upcoming events. Starting out, as you know, Tijuana promotion The Crash has been announcing for their 14th anniversary show. Many names have been mentioned. Well, two more names have been announced just recently. The first one is legendary luchador. Many of you know him, you know his legacy, Rayo de Jalisco Jr. So basically, he'll be participating in The Crash. And they also announced Zilla Fatu as well. So Zilla will be at The Crash next month in Tijuana, Mexico. Now, Pro Wrestling Noah has made some interesting announcement regarding upcoming events in their side. As you know, in Japan we've seen like many tournaments, especially round robin tournaments. Well, they have a new one called Noah Junior's Grand Prix. This will go from the 8th of November in Corcoran Hall, and it will end on the 25th in Sendai. So this will start next month early on the 8th and ends on the 25th of November. So I'm excited. I'm sure that this will be the proper opportunity for someone to dethrone Hiromu, which of course, as you know, Hiromu is a New Japan wrestler, and I don't think the Noah Juniors are okay with this. So we'll see what happens. Now on to some interesting developments. As you all know, Stevie Turner has been, as you know, she was released from WWE recently, and of course she did stated that she can't wait to see her fan base in 30 days. Well, it seems that her excitement is bubbling up. She posted out saying, "Can't believe I'm gonna get to wrestle again." And I have to say I agree with her, because we know she's been injured, and they typical WWE, they put her in a managerial role, and I think that sometimes is messed up, not giving wrestlers their opportunities that they deserve. I mean, we know they tried to do this with Adam Cole, from our understanding, they wanted him to go to the main roster, but it didn't. So yeah, that's pretty much what we do know. Now, Kota Ibushi, as many of you know, he got injured in AEW during Collision. Tokyo Sports reports that he'll be unavailable to continue the matches, but it's still unclear about his absence. We don't know how long. Some people say it could be a bit of a long term. We don't know for sure. We know that he had an injury he obtained in Noah during a match against Naomi Fuji, but who knows how that's going to be. Now, speaking of wrestlers who were released from WWE, many of you know Jin Tala was also amongst them. Now, she hasn't pulled up in a statement yet, but now she decided to break her silence regarding about that. So this is what she said. "I've been trying to collect my thoughts and find the right words to address my recent release. Before WWE, I've been a jack of all trades with many hobbies, but I couldn't settle on one thing. Was was always missing that flame of passion. With the contract in hand, I kept thinking, what if this was I've been missing? I found my passion and all I am, and I wasn't just fascinated by the physical aspects of pro wrestling. What hooked me was the psychology, the emotional that can express by wrestlers and felt by the audience. And the past month, no, not much. For those questioning my comments, dedication, I say, with the hand of heart that I didn't falter. I knew I had weak points in my promos and wrestling, but I put 100%, 110% and fed with knowledge from my coaches, main roster talent who came and to the PC. And for the past month, I saw it, and I think everyone saw it too. I broke down some of those big walls, and I have failed to break down the LFG. My promos were showing range because I was finally let go. My move set I recently developed in the ring show aggression, everything the legends were looking for, and I was able to showcase that in recent matches. And for me, that was a win. It maybe came down to timing. Did I break down those walls quick enough? Maybe. I was just unpronounceable name on the list, or maybe they just see that what I saw in myself. In the end of the day, they the only person I have to prove my worth is to me. I'm not giving up. Jin Tala may be no more, but Lay Laurel has always been a fighter. So yeah. So basically, we know she's been self-aware that there has been some things that she had to improve. Of course, promos is one. I mean, that's something that's no secret. Me, I'm no wrestler, just to point out. But we know there has been certain things you have to work on in order to present yourself, and I think she is now seeing. Yes, there was a lot of work, but it's still. But she felt maybe that was the reason she was let go, and I understand that. But it seems now she is feeling like this is what she wants to do, and I'm sure this will be a perfect opportunity for her to, of course, develop those same skills. But we'll see what happens. I'm sure many fans will love to see her again. We don't know when. I know some people are saying probably she needs to be in AEW better. No, I say personally, if she wants to develop herself, there's two ways I can think of. One, of course, book yourself in many independents, you know, and if it's possible, if they want to, how to say, sharpen their wrestling craft, I would say go to Japan and sign up with one of the promotions. Maybe not the bigger ones, but maybe one that will be suitable. I mean, if I have to choose for her, that if she makes that choice, I would say either Marvelous or Sendai Girls would be the proper one, in my opinion. So we'll see. Let's see what the future holds for her. So we'll stay tuned for more on her. But as of right now, let's call it a day. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode. Coming up, as you probably know right about now, New Japan will have their latest show, The King of Pro Wrestling. We have excellent matches taking place. The IWGP Women's Championship, the Global Championship, the Never Openweight Championship, and of course, the IWGP World Heavyweight title. So there's a lot of things that's going to take place throughout this entire event, and I can't wait to see what's going to happen. Now, I haven't decided yet what other events is happening, but I do know there's a Mighty Goal taking place because this will be the final event that will feature Mirai, who made the surprising announcement last month after at the start of the Battle Heart tour that she'll be departing from the promotion. And yeah, that's pretty much what we do know. But we'll see how things will roll. I haven't started the Battle Heart reviews yet, but I'll get to those as soon as possible. But as of right now, we'll call it as it is, and I'll see you guys in the next DWZ time, same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye, and have a nice day. Bang.